Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Barry, That Goat Metal Show, with another segment with these fine gentlemen, Rich the Silent Producer and Tone Joker NYC, as we do our albums of the 90s. We did a nice round table with 80s albums, and it was great. We had a great time doing it, and we said we're gonna do one for the 90s of albums that pretty much related to us. Not necessarily the best albums of that year. It could just be, you know, just your favorite album itself. And we just wanted to get that going for the 90s and just keep it going. So we're gonna start it off with my man Tone, and let's see what he's got, man. We're gonna start off with 1990.
1990, I got here. I went with Napalm's Death.
That's a good one, man. Harmony.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was gonna go with a different band, but the reason why I like this album is because this is when they went from grindcore and to death metal, and this album is some of the best death metal I heard in that period of time. And and Barney, forget it. I think maybe he's my second favorite vocalist next to Martin. And and they had enough grindcore in it to keep the grindcore fans happy. And so remember, we went to see them on tour too.
Yeah, that was a badass. That was with I think they had Nocturnus
and Godflesh.
Yes,
Godflesh
was fantastic at that show, man. I remember we saw them live, man. I was thrilled because you know, I was still with the whole thing with no drummer and them doing the programs. It was still kind of new to me with that shit, you know.
Yeah, and remember that was for Street Cleaner.
Yeah, that was
a very good album too.
And also, what was diverse about that show is that Nocturnus was one of the first death metal bands that really incorporated keyboards and synths, and they had those trippy kind of space sounds. So that was real unique. But with that particular album that Tone picked, Harmony Corruption, Napalm was rough, kind of crusty punk, grindcore. But with that album, it was a nice blend of death and grind together, well produced. And Suffer the Children is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Yeah, you could definitely hear his vocals. You know, his style of vocals, I guess, fit the death metal genre really well. And that was the thing with that. And if I remember correctly, I know there was a documentary that they had about Napalm Death, where they were saying something to the effect of that. I think they got pressure from the record label to try to go a little bit more to the death metal side. Was that true, you think?
Yeah, it was, because at that time that death metal was taking over. And remember, a lot of the bands that they had on Earache Records at that time were death metal bands. Yep. So they wanted to send them on tour, so they thought that was. But remember, Barney was in the death metal band Benediction.
Yeah, he was. Yep. Yeah.
So it's not like he was a stranger to death metal. So you know,
the one that was good was Subconscious Terror from Benediction. That album was good.
Yeah. So, and the band is still good, Benediction, even though he's not in the band. Yeah. So it was a good thing. So that was my choice for 90.
Awesome.
Cool. Awesome. So I guess I'll shift on to 1990. I don't have the album with me, but I do have something to represent it. There were a lot of great albums, and I was really torn because I felt like for thrash metal, I really liked Megadeth's Rust in Peace. I thought that was one of the best albums of 90. A lot of great albums. Judas Priest Painkiller was spectacular from top to bottom. But the one that really got me for 1990 was the one that really kickstarted for me the movement of death metal going into Swedish death metal. And for that one, I picked this one.
Nice. See, I was going to pick, but I knew you guys were going to be on that one too.
Yeah.
Entombed's Left Hand Path. Between the sound of the HM2, they were very young in their teenage years. They came out of a band called Nihilist, and they put Sweden on the map. And then from there, Unleashed, Dismembered, Grave, and many others came out. and some that never got their due. But there were a lot of clones, but there'll never be another Entomb. And for 1990, I picked Left Hand Path.
Yeah, and I even you know, I love the first two Entomb albums. I think they're like fucking top notch. I even didn't mind when they went into somewhat of that, you know, what was it, Death and Roll, when they were going into that little Death and Roll thing with Wolverine Blues. I love Wolverine Blues. I thought that was to me, I thought that was a fantastic
Wolverine Blues was good, but you keep on forgetting too. They had an EP, Crawl.
Yeah, Crawl. Yeah.
Yes,
It was right before Clandestine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I'm just talking about as far as like when they started transitioning into that, you know, they started changing their style, and people were like all up in arms and getting all bent out of shape. And I thought it still sounded cool. I thought Wolverine Blues was still a fantastic song. I loved the video.
And don't forget the vocalist. The LG was not the vocalist for the second album.
Yeah.
The vocalist from what was it, Edge of Sanity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I still don't. I still try to like. You remember what was the controversy? Because I mean, he was in it, then he was out, then he came back again. What was the controversy?
I thought he went to jail.
Oh, he went.
No. I think
Oh?
it was an inner band conflict, but I can't really confirm right now because it's been so many fucking years. But there was some kind of inner band conflict, and they had to move on quickly, and they were on a budget to record that, and the record label was like, "Yo, you got to do it." But when we get to 1991, we'll talk about that.
All right, cool. All right. Well, I'll go with my pick. I mean, I don't have the physical. I have it downloaded, which I still want to go get the physical. Is I'll put it Obituaries, Cause of Death.
Yep.
All right. Now that the reason why, I mean, again, I'm like a fucking James Murphy fan. You know, like James Murphy touches a band and it's like they become gold. You know, he did it with Death, he did it with Obituary, Disincarnate, did it with Testament. So, you know, I'm a big fan of fucking James Murphy, and the leads he does in that fucking album is just I love it. The fucking album is just fantastic. It's dark. The Celtic Frost cover that they do Circle of the Tyrants as a fucking phenomenal cover. It was you know, all those albums we picked were all our list what we were listening to back then, you know, from Napalm Death, Entomb, and Obituary, and everything else that was coming out in the 90s, man, and that year 1990.
Yeah. But let me just say really quick, I think that the first three Obituary albums are the best ones. Slowly We Rot, Cause of Death, and The End Complete. But personally, just my thing, I feel like Cause of Death is my favorite one in the middle, because I feel like it had everything between the riffs, the vocals, the production, the eeriness, the artwork, and it really put Obituary on the map.
Yeah, that was
Florida death metal.
Yeah, that album is what a pure death metal album is, and again, well, we label the bands who have their best out. That to me, that's their Raining Blood. Cause of Death is like top notch.
I agree with you guys too, but you know what? Nobody gives credit for one thing to Obituary. If you listen to Slowly We Rock, when I first heard it, it has a lot of doom elements in it.
Oh yeah, you can definitely hear a lot. You can definitely hear a lot of the Black Sabbath stuff in there, definitely.
Yeah, nobody talks about them being one of the, you know, you could say that album was one of the first doom albums that went not mainstream, but became popular. Slowly We Rock. Yeah. And two, he didn't even have lyrics to some of the songs that he was singing on Slowly We Rock.
He just basically pinches balls and
yeah. One of the greatest vocalists of all time. Yeah.
I mean, but it's kind of funny when we think about Obituary for those first couple of albums. Even when he went to The End Complete, I like The End Complete. It is a great fucking album. But it's still kind of weird to me that you could hear him singing lyrics, like straight lyrics, and I'm there like, I kind of want him to go back to just grunting and growling, like, you know, just I don't know. That was just me.
And on another note, real quick, not jumping ahead, but Obituary took a couple of albums that they weren't that great, but when they came out with the album called Obituary, the self-titled, that comeback, that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad album. I mean, it was, you know, it doesn't. I mean, it was good to it was a good listen, but it still doesn't fit to the first three.
It doesn't fit with the first three. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so what we got? What we got, Tone? What's our honorable
mention? That year we had what you call Lights Camera Revolution from what you call
fucking Suicidal. I burnt that fucking tape, man. Jesus Christ, I burnt that tape.
We had Judas Priest with their to me their greatest album, Painkiller. Then we have Megadeth with Rust in Peace, and don't forget Slayer, Season of the Abyss came out.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yep.
Yeah, and for what you call, and for people that are 50-50, we had Pantera come out with Cowboys from Hell, and one of my favorites from that year that I was close to putting it is Creator's Como Souls.
Oh man, yeah, Como Souls definitely. That was. I mean, the fact that you know, when that album came out, that we got to go watch those guys play live in the Marquee with Biohazard and Morgoth.
When they opened up the Sunburns Red.
Oh man, yo, seeing them play live, they destroyed that fucking club, man.
It was incredible.
That was a great experience. That was a great experience.
Also, I'll throw in a couple of real quick ones. Spiritual Healing also came out that year from Death.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if it falls in the metal category, but it should be mentioned. Alice in Chains Facelift. A lot of metal people listened to that album, and it got them, you know, more into that sound.
Yeah, because they were like, you know, more of the modern style of like Black, you know, they had that Black Sabbath style to them, and a lot of the people who were into like the Black Sabbath style really dug them. Yep. I didn't like the fact that they threw them into that freaking alternative thing just because they came out of Seattle. I didn't ever consider them alternative.
Yeah, also they were the best ones from the Seattle bands.
Yeah.
Then Soundgarden was good.
Soundgarden was pretty good.
And remember, Alice in Chains went on that on the what you call the tour with Megadeth,
Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
And Anthrax. Yeah. And also, you can't forget about, like, a lot of people focus on Pantera, but for groove thrash metal, Ex-Hoarders, Slaughter in the Vatican was a very big album too.
Yeah, man. Yeah. 90 was a great fucking year, man. 1990 was a great fucking year.
Well, check it out. I haven't even mentioned, there was other ones I was going to mention, but I just wanted to make it short because there's other things. We have two, Forbidden, Twisted into Form.
Incredible.
You had the second Danzig album that came out.
I
love that a lot. And what you call, so that year was a very, very good year for metal.
Yeah.
We can't slip without saying Deicide's debut.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Debut.
I think 1990 could just probably run on its own thing, man. Because there was a lot of good fucking albums.
And also for war metal, Blasphemy, Fallen Angel of Doom.
Yeah.
Oh shit, and Demolition Hammer.
Oh yeah. I told you 90, you could do a whole episode on 90 alone.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. All right. So
let's move on to 1991, right?
Yep, 1991. So what we got?
Oh, my favorite album from Sepultura, Arise.
Woo!
This when we saw them on tour, this blew me away. This album, I think a lot of people, I think, is in the top 10 of greatest death metal albums of all time. Because this, from the beginning to the end, this album it doesn't have one weak song on this.
No, not at all.
Not one weak song. And the Caballero brothers, they kill it in here. This is what a death metal album should sound. And it's funny, coming from a band that their first two were thrash, and then their earlier stuff was black metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this band had touched every genre in the underground scene. But this album I consider to be their best and one of the best ones out there to when you start a collection.
I feel that the first 5 Sepultura albums are classics back to back. The first 2 had like the thrashy black metal feel. Then the middle they got thrashy, and then they started slipping towards death. and then a combination of industrial at the end a bit. Personally, Beneath the Remains is my favorite, but I feel like their best overall album produced top to bottom, like Tone says, A Rise is definitely one of the best ones for Sepultura.
Yeah, because the other album after what was it that came after A Rise was
Chaos AD.
Chaos AD.
I don't know. A lot of people like it, but I
like it.
It's a good album for what it was at that time, because you remember there a lot of people were doing like a lot of experimental shit when it got to the mid to late 90s, and at least at that point with Sepultura, it still kind of felt like Sepultura to a degree, even though they were experimenting with some of that shit that you were talking about.
And what you guys thought about Roots?
I wasn't really. Roots.
At that point, I was dipping into other kinds of music, so I didn't get into it. I respect it because it was creative and it was different, but at that point, I was just moving on to other kinds of styles of music.
Yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of Roots. I mean, I like maybe one or two of their songs from there, but yeah, as far as what Sepultura was to us, that Roots just like, you know, they were just going off into that other thing. You saw Max was just trying to do the whole tribal stuff, and I was like, okay, I guess, you know, yeah.
and from there we stop, because then starts the bootleg Sepultura band.
Yeah, we don't even want to go there. Yeah. So I guess I'll move on with 1991. I feel like 91, another really, really great year for death metal. Thrash metal was dwindling down, but a lot of diversity. But I feel like in death metal, brutality was starting to really peak. And I think Barry might agree with me that I feel like one of the albums that really stood out and put Long Island on the map and New York really in place is Suffocation, Effigies of the Forgotten.
Yep, that's right, man. That's right. And that,
yeah, this
and that fucking is fucking front to back. Again, that's another album that I could talk about. I think, remember when we were discussing on the last one of the 80s when I mentioned about Morbid Angels, Altars of Madness, how it was one of my favorite albums, but I felt like the vocal style that Altars of Madness had, they lost, you know, like they stopped doing it. Suffocation, that Effigy of the Forgotten, that one, the vocal style on that was like so. Yeah, they started. I guess I don't know, whatever they did on that album. I wish they would have continued it. He changed it up a little bit, but yeah, man, that one right there. Is straight.
I like the rawness of the demo, and the Human Waste EP was really good when we got it at Bleecker Bob's. But when this album came out, it had brutality, technicality, vocals, and also with the riff of Liege of Veracity. A lot of people credit that for the beginning of like the newer 90s slam music with mosh parts. And, and I remember one of the most biggest memories I ever have is when we went to see them at the Hangman's Ball. And I remember that pit just got fucking insane. Suffocation, man.
You guys forgot.
1991.
I juiced on that one.
What? Yeah, you got hit in the nose.
No, it wasn't the nose, it was the lip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, and again, that you give Suffocation a lot of that too, because I think if you think about some of the stuff that they play in their music, it could also be a lot that inspired a lot of the, you know, bands like my band with the, you know, the style of, you know, doing the death metal and the hardcore style, because Suffocation did have a lot of hardcore elements into their music too. You could hear it.
And also one of the greatest drummers of all time, Smith.
Yeah, man. Definitely. That guy's a fantastic fucking drummer.
Yep. So Barry, move on, man. Tell us your pick.
All right. Well, 1991. So, you know, since, you know, we were going away, nobody talked about this, as I said right there.
Yes.
And right now, you know, this was, and it's a shame because this is considered what, I mean, if people tend to talk about, you know, Left Hand Path and Clandestine and stuff, and, you know, and they try to debate which one is the best album of Entomb. And it's kind of hard because, you know, both of them have different singers on it. But this is fucking like, yo, this was when it went to a whole new level after Left Hand Path, where it was just, that's when you heard Entomb and you really heard And yeah, I mean, great fucking album, man. It really is.
Yep. They had videos for that on MTV. They were playing live tours. We saw them with Entombed, Unleash, Ripping Corpse, and who was the other band? Oh crap, who was on that bill?
Morgoth?
No, it was Ripping Corpse, Unleash, Entombed, and one more band. Oh man,
that wasn't with Morbid Angel, was it?
Morbid Angel. Morbid Angel.
Morbid Angel headlined that show. Yeah,
that was at the Marquee.
That was at the Marquee.
Yeah,
I remember.
Marquee, yeah.
And
MTV was there, and they showed little clips on that MTV News at the end of the week, and they showed little clips of that show.
Yeah, because that's when they were doing their death metal segment, where they were talking about death metal. Yeah, I remember.
They were saying death metal is getting big, and it's playing in clubs. And they went to that show, and I remember top to bottom, that shit was great.
Yeah, I'm still a big fan of fucking Ripping Corpse, man. I still mad that those guys broke up.
Remember, I got the CD of that before it came out in America in Bleecker Bob's.
I remember.
Yeah, we both bought it. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember they used to have Bleecker Bob's used to get the imports first and rip you off with a higher price, and then when the album will come out in America, maybe like 2 weeks later or 3. Then they put it for regular price. But me and Tone would just break down and pay the price because it was in tune, man. We loved them that much.
Yeah, I remember as soon as you got it, I made sure to get you guys burn me a copy. I was like, fuck that, man.
And the Entombed name, put up your thing again. Yours, I think, is yellow. Yeah. When we got it, it wasn't yellow. For the imported one, I think it was a darker brown.
Or purple or something? Yeah, something weird.
No, it wasn't purple. It was like a brownish color to the thing. It wasn't yellow. That's the American print. The European one was a darker color.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tone had that shirt, the Entombed shirt. I remember for clandestine, and I had the long sleeve left hand pap shirt.
Nice.
Yeah, clandestine. That was a great album.
So, some honorable mentions, Tone?
Yeah, one of my favorites at that year that came out was Typo Negative. Slow, deep, and hard.
I know you're fucking someone else.
One of my favorite albums that year too was Bolt Thrower War Master.
Oh yeah.
A band that people don't talk too much about, but I love Sabotage.
Yep.
Yeah. And Dismember that we're gonna see tomorrow is that they're gonna do like every flowing stream. They're gonna do the whole album tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's gonna be good. Yeah, no, and also 91 I feel was the year that Def started becoming a little bit more technical, and they came out with the album Human. And some people like it, some people don't, but it was pushing death metal a little forward into a different sound.
Hey, Human came out that time? It came out before Individual Thought Patterns?
91, yeah.
91.
And also that year was Unquestionable Presence from Atheists. Another technical album.
Technical. And that was the year too for regular metal. Guns N' Roses came out with the 2 Use Your Illusions albums.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, that I really didn't care for.
And also, one of the greatest goth metal albums of all time, Paradise Lost Gothic.
Oh yeah, man. Oh my god, I love that fucking album, man.
Yep,
that's
a great
album.
And Autopsy came out that year.
Which one, Tone? Mental Funeral?
Yeah, Mental Funeral.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, and hold on a second. Immolations, Dawn of Possession.
Yep.
Another brutal Yonkers band that got on the scene, and that's a band that has still been in the scene, and still they put out good albums.
Yeah, man. They started off.
Here's my last one. I'm gonna say Metal Church, The Human Factor.
Yeah, Human Factor is a great album.
Yeah.
I'll sneak in another one. Mental Vortex from Coroner.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that was a very good album.
And I'll mention one for my friend Scott from Pennsylvania. He was very big into the doom metal. So Cathedral's Forest of Equilibrium, Cathedral. When we saw them with Carcass and Napalm Death at the Ritz,
Yeah.
Brutal Truth. That was a good show.
Yeah, I remember that show.
Yep. And the Ten Commandments from Malevolent Creation. That came out in 91.
Yeah, it was 91.
That's that and the second album is the best thing that band came out with.
Oh, and this is my last one because I don't want to leave these guys out. Considered Dead from Gorguts.
Gorguts, yeah.
Yep. Technical, brutal Canadian death metal.
Nice.
Matter of fact, I was gonna show.
There it is. Oh shit.
Oh, nice.
I just love the cover of this shit. The Ten Commandments. They had some nice artwork on that time.
Matter of fact, tell you a funny story, but I said it in one of the videos. I don't know if anybody even really paid attention, but remember Sounds, right? Remember Sounds and
yeah.
Right? So I went to Sounds and I got a used copy of Ten Commandments on CD. I think I paid like $6 for it or whatever it was when I got it. So I bought it. Never. And this, I don't know how long ago we're talking about. We're talking about like when we used to go to Sound. So we're talking early 90s, right? I picked it up. For some reason, don't tell me why, I never opened the fucking book. Never opened it. I just had it in there, listened to the music. I had the cassette. So it's like the lyrics, whatever I knew from the song, I never bothered to open it up. Like maybe a while back, like I said, I did a video on it. I opened the shit up because I was doing something while I was taking out albums. And inside the fucking thing has autographs from Brett Hoffman.
Wow.
Brett Hoffman's autograph is in there. And the guitarist, they said something about, I guess, whoever it owned the fucking CD, some guy, they called him the Ice Cream Man or some shit like that. But Brett Hoffman, I'll take, when I get a chance, I'll dig it out, I'll show it to you guys, man.
Barry, they called him the Ice Cream Man?
Some shit like that. It was some weird name. And,
you know who that was? That was Jeezy, man, that rapper from the South. That must have been his CD.
So, the fact that
Iceman?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'll take it out again. I'll show it. I thought it was fucking hilarious. And, just the fact that it floored me that I saw Brett Hoffman's autograph. I said, oh my God, man, this man passed away. And I said, I got his autograph here. So I thought
that's crazy.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. That was my story with that album.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Tell us, Barry, about 91.
Yeah, man. Really nice, man.
You're up next, Barry, with 91.
Oh, I am? Oh, shit. Wait, really?
Yeah.
No, I did. No, we're going. No, I did. I did in 2, man. We did all.
Shit!
Yeah, we're going to 92.
Honorable mentions.
Yeah, no, I think we just did. Didn't you do that?
Yeah, we did the honorable mentions.
Yeah, now we're going into 92, Rich. Man, man, stop drinking. Stop drinking, Rich.
You know what? On that note, I'm gonna go get another beer.
Well, for 92, I picked up an album that at first I never cared for because I couldn't understand the music, but now is one of my all-time favorite albums and stuff. Is Dark Thrones, A Blaze in the Northern Sky.
That's a fucking that right there, man, is fucking that's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's fucking
cool. This at first around that year when I first heard it, I was like, oh my God, these guys didn't even know how to play their instruments. But as time went on, I got into black metal and realized the rawness and the atmospheric of this album. I was like, oh, this is a classic. This and I wish they would go back to this style. And I don't, play that style that they do have now. That I really don't care for and stuff. But this was a very, very good album and stuff. So that's my pick for 92.
Yeah, they really put Norway on the map. I remember going to Bleecker Bob's, and a lot of those Norwegian CDs were imports. And I remember Scott saying that, this band is really good. And at first, it was so raw and the production was so, what is it called, lo-fi, that I was like, I like it, but I don't really like it. But as I understood black metal and I got more into it, I appreciate it more. And that album is one of the top ones from that year.
Definitely one of the top ones from that year.
Yeah, man, that's fucking classic right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. So With 1992, it was super hard for me because I felt like 92, all of us were in the peak of like really going to shows and buying records and supporting the scene and creating bands and shit. So there were so many, but I wanted to just go a little bit off and maybe pick a album that a lot of people don't talk too much about, because I wanted to add in a little Death Doom. And so what album I picked was Unworth to Golgotha from Incantation.
Nice.
Yeah, this is an album that it took me a bit to get into, but between the vocals and the really dark sound and the guitar work and everything, man, it's really grown on me. And I feel that this band has also inspired a lot of newer style bands with their style of that old school throwback sound. So for 92, I picked Unworth to Golgotha from Incantation.
Yeah, the one thing I remember with Incantation is when we saw them live a few times, and he will always
at the marquee.
Yeah, he'll introduce the damn songs going, and this next song is okay, man. All right. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
All right.
Nice. So Barry, tell us.
All right, I'm next, right? All right. Well, this is just, my opinion when it comes to the best. I think this is just, it could be, for me, it's considered the best death metal album made. I think front to back. This is like, considered like the way we look at Rain and Blood with thrash. I look at this album as what Rain and Blood is for death metal. And that is Retribution.
Retribution.
All right.
Yep.
And the thing, when you look at everything that goes on in this album, especially from the drumming all the way down, all the way to the singing, everything's on point. Crispy greatness that comes out of this fucking album, front to back. And
nice artwork.
Yeah, man. I just, the fact also that, I got to be friends with Alex Marquez, and I used to just, talk to him about some of the stuff that they, and, he gave me some little tidbits here and there. They kind of had like a little falling out. I know him and the guitarist, they had a falling out or whatever. And, you remember we did Metal Bonchinche about that some time ago where the guitarist was talking shit about him. But, nobody can deny it. And people, when they talk about, when other drummers talk about it, they talk about this album because the fucking drumming on here is just flawless. Coronation, that song Coronation, where it starts off with the drumming, forget about it. That was, this was one of the albums that I think influenced Go to Mentis as well, because Frankie was fucking listening to this religiously as well. He loved fucking Alex Marquez. But to me, I feel like this is the Rain and Blood of death metal. That's just me.
Me personally, go ahead, Rich.
No, go ahead, Tom.
I said, me personally, after that album, I think that the band started taking a little dip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the first two albums is
hard. Yeah, it's very hard because they did well in the first album, but with the second album, they took it up a notch, and it's so hard to reach to that level that I just always go back to those two albums.
Yeah, I did ask Alex Marquez because Stillborn, you gotta like, it was one of those things that after you heard Retribution, you were like, you couldn't wait to get Stillborn when it came out. And then when you heard it, the production wasn't really all that. Everything was kind of off. I asked him about that. I said, yo, what was the deal with Stillborn? Like, why did it have like that sound? He said basically, I think it has something to do with because of the success of Retribution. And I don't know if Roadrunner was kind of rushing them to try to get the album out in a timely, try to get it out so they could try to feed off of what they did for Retribution. And so what happened, the album the quality wasn't that great because everything pretty much was rushed.
Yeah.
One interesting fact about Retribution I forgot to mention is that shit won 1992 Tombstone Album of the Year for death metal.
Yeah, it did.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's move on to some honorables, Tom.
What we got for that year, Tom?
All right. What we got here? We start with DSI.
Legion.
Then we have here's one for what you call Brutal Truth came out that year.
That's right.
didn't we see them at the Marquee, or where was it that
we saw them a lot of places. We saw them at the Ritz and the debut show. We saw them at the Marquee, and then they played a couple of small shows. And I remember one show that they whipped out a car door and they had like a spray
brush. I was trying to talk about. Where was that at? That they had the car, and he was grinding the car door.
I think it was the Marquee. I could be wrong, or maybe it was the Ritz. My memory's fucked.
They even had some shows in CBGBs too, didn't they?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, they did.
They're a band that they played with death bands, with grindcore bands,
and hardcore
bands. Like all kinds of bands. Like they always got mixed in. I remember going to a hardcore show for Murphy's Law, and they opened up for them, and they just, you know, because Dan Lilker was always in everything, you know.
Mm-hmm. And you're gonna laugh. Body Count, Ice-T's band,
Top Killer.
Yeah.
Wow. How that album has aged, right?
Yep, that album. Demolition Hammer.
The second one, Epidemic of Violence.
And and Danzig came out with Danzig 3. How the Gods Kill.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll throw in a couple of quick ones. The one that really put Pantera in arenas, Vulgar Display of Power.
Yeah.
I like that album. Pantera really had a little mix of groove metal, but with thrash, with a little bit of hardcore. Also, in that year was oh crap. Oh shit, where is it? I lost it. The Law from Exhorder. That's the second album from them. And then also for industrial metal, Ministry with Psalm 69. They had a lot of good songs off that. And for stoner music, Sleep.
Huh?
Hot
Godflesh came out with Pure that year.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And
okay.
Utopia Banished from Napalm Death is another really good one. And then oh shit, I gotta mention this. Last One on Earth from Asphyx.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, I got one that I gotta really mention. I almost forgot. Emperor, Wrath of the Tyrant came out that year.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah. And you know, like some people might not like them, but I still respect them. White Zombie with La Sexorcisto.
That's a great album. That's a fucking great album, man.
Yeah, they were very, very good. And you know who came out with an album that year? Kiss with Revenge. Remember Tone Revenge?
Yeah, Revenge. I saw them on tour that year too.
Oh shit! I gotta mention this. Cross the Sticks with Sinister. That was another. I think that's the best Sinister album. Cross the Sticks. Yeah, a lot of good ones.
Person came out that year too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, so shall we move on to
1993? 1993.
Yes.
So what we got?
All right, from 1993. Matter of fact, I thought I had the vinyl here. Yeah, I don't have it. I took what you call Immortal. What you call Pure Holocaust.
Yeah.
Okay.
That to me, that's one of to me, the first album was raw and it was real good, but I think that the second album, it still had the rawness, but the production was just a little better, but the all around, I felt that the band was much tighter. They all the drumming, the guitaring, the vocals, everything for that album, and that to me, I think is their best when it comes to black metal sound. To that album from their history is their best album for me personally.
And one thing about that album too is that I felt like I was listening to that album in the cold winter, and it was grim, and it made me feel like that was the definition of what Norway was sounding like around that time. And a lot of copycats came out, with that sound, but it was just everything: brutality, brutal vocals, fast speed. Overall, a very good album. Pure Holocaust. Yeah.
It was a very, very good album.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
So with 1993, I don't have the album. I was kind of like experimenting and getting into different sounds. And one of the places that I started getting into was Finnish death metal. So a lot of people came out like Sentenced and all these other bands. But I'm gonna throw kind of like an oddball one. I don't know if you guys can pick it up here. Demolish. The band Demolish. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
I see the logo. Yeah, I reckon. Yeah.
This album is very weird and different. And it's an album that it wasn't popular at the time, but little by little over the years, people picked up on it, and it's like really out there, kind of like the vocalist sounds like a frog burping with his head inside of a toilet. And, yeah, right. And but the music is very diverse and really like unique. You know, it's very hard to describe. But my pick for '93 is Demolish with this album, Nesbit.
Nice. All right. Well, all right. For me, I'm going pretty. It's going to be somewhat typical. But over here in New York City, you know, 1993, we had a lot of good bands from New York, and definitely Life of Agony, River Runs Red. It's definitely yeah. This album, I mean, I remember the demo. The demo, I still have more. I think I have a little bit more love for the demo because the demo was pure hard. It was a pure hardcore demo. And, yeah, it was. What happened?
No, I was going to say pure hardcore. Yeah, with what you call
the demo. Yeah, the demo. Then when they got here, you could see that they were trying, they were getting more into like the, stretching out their boundaries with their music.
The vocals were changing a little more. Yeah.
Yeah, he started singing. He was more singing than anything. But this album, front to back, with everything, even with those little in betweens, with the phone calls, the answering machine, seeing what they were going through, the depression when he cuts himself, you hear it. It's just crazy, man. And the lyrics are great. They resonate with anybody who might be suffering from something, and it hits home. It hits home with a lot of things that have been going on with people, and it's a great fucking album, man. It is, and great shit. And and one thing I remember too, my old guitarist Milton. This was like one of the only bands besides death metal that he loved the most. Used to fucking burn this shit left and right when we used to practice, and I didn't mind. Great fucking album.
Yes.
I heard that they're playing a show, I think next month or this month, on a boat in the city. They're playing a boat show, one of those cruises.
Oh, really? But it's like, really? But like, is that like something where they're doing it for like, and like they just happen to be a band playing, or they're advertising it as a show?
No, there's a thing, a company called Rocks Off that books shows, and they've already had like Murphy's Law and other bands perform. But I know that I just saw it on Facebook. Life of Agony is playing on a boat soon. I'll get you the date, Barry. I don't know.
You know what? Let me know, because I wouldn't mind if it's something worth going to. I would love to take my wife to see that. She likes Life of Agony.
Yeah, no, and you could be on a boat chilling, having drinks, taking a nice ride, and you get back home.
Yeah, I think I'll pass on that.
Yo, you sure?
All right, Tone.
Tone, I'll get you Mina's number, Tone.
Oh, that's what it is, Tone. Too much pressure for him. Well, tell us some honorable mentions.
Well, there was In Tune, Wolverine Blues.
Yes. I fucking love Wolverine Blues, man.
Yeah, there was Motorhead, Bastard, that came out that year. Then we had Dark Throne, Under a Funeral Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Good album. That was a very good album.
Yeah, real good album. Then we have Sepultura with Chaos AD. And the last one that I have here. Oh, how can I forget this one? I've been listening to this all the time. Typo Negative, Bloody Kiss.
Great, love.
Yes,
love that.
That's when they really became gothic. Like they started getting a little bit away from the hardcore and getting more gothic, but they still had a unique sound. I think Peter Steele is one of the not only best bass players of all time, but one of the greatest vocalists of all time.
Hell yeah.
I love Christian.
He could play any kind of style because remember they started with Carnivore. He was on that hardcore tip, and then he went to do this.
Yep. I'll throw some quick honorable mentions. I know that I keep on mentioning Def, but I gotta mention Individual Thought Patterns. That's when they got more jazzier and more experimentative. I think that was the last of the Def albums that I was really into. Also, where is it? For Barry, Turn the Swans Loose, My Dying Bride.
Turn Loose the Swans.
Oh shit, yep. And then I know that there's wasn't that bad Covenant from Morbid Angel that year.
Wait, you said Turn Loose the Swans. I thought that didn't come out in 94?
No, that was 93. I got it listed as 93.
It's 93.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh shit.
What happened?
No, Carcass came out with
artwork.
Mm.
Yeah, that was the album that they started incorporating a little bit of melody into their music, more cleaner production.
More cleaner production. They will wait. They left the grindcore.
Oh, and I gotta mention this. Thy Mighty Contract from Rotting Christ. Tone.
Huh?
Thy Mighty Contract from Rotting Christ.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite Rotting Christ album.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah. Also from Florida, Screams of Anguish from Brutality.
Scream of Anguish
from Brutality. They were the Florida band.
Oh yeah. Now I remember them. They were a technical death metal band.
And Disembowelment for like doom death kind of stuff. They came out with an album that year, and also Breeding the Spawn from Suffocation came out that year. And for slam metal from Long Island, Sermon of Mockery from Pyrexia. Kind of underground shit that put Long Island also up there on the map.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. So shall we move on to 94?
94.
Yep.
Go ahead, Tone.
Well, I have the CD, but I can't. I was trying to look for it. I don't know where the hell is that. Is Cradle of Filth, Principle of Evil made the flesh.
Yep.
That one to me, I don't care what anybody says because everybody's like, they sold out, this and all that. Yeah, we heard the whole bullshit. But that album is one of the best black metal albums I've ever heard. The production, it was very raw. His vocals was not the kind of vocals he used with the high pitch down for the other albums. It was a more raw, more rough sound to his vocals. And there weren't that much of the keyboard shit in that one either that they later on added to me. And this was their raw black metal album. After that, yeah, whatever you want to say, you want to.
I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. I still dig them. I even to this day, I think some of their stuff still. I mean, I could still listen to it. It's the videos. I think the videos they make are still fucking cool. He does all that theatric shit. It's more like in that gothic style thing that they do or whatever. I mean, that's pretty much to me. They're just a show band. If anything, if you're gonna see if anything, that's a band to go watch live. They're gonna do a whole fucking stage show for you.
Me and I at the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Yeah, Hammerstein Ballroom.
Yeah, we saw them with Nile opening up.
Yeah, so you know that I mean, look, I dig it. I'm one of those very few that I can still say I still dig Cradle of Filth, even with their newer stuff. So
I like from Cradle of Filth. I stopped for the Cruelty of the Beast. Was the last of no, was it no, what came after that was it
Midian.
No, okay, yeah, so it was Cruelty of the Beast because I didn't care for Midian. After that on, it was like
when they did Midian, you could see that's when he started getting more into like that. Yeah, it was like branched off a little bit.
And also Dusk and Her Embrace was great.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Blue album, yeah.
That's a great album.
Very gothic, yeah.
They had two great EPs. There was the what you call the Vampire one, and Embrace of the Vampire, I think it was called, and I forgot what the other EP was. They had some good stuff from there down, but after that medium, I didn't care for them, and then now I don't know, they don't sound at all.
No, I don't really care for them anymore. I mean, you know, it was something of like when black metal was really becoming popular. They were a band that not only incorporated high-pitched screeches and guitar sounds, but they also had a nice little keyboards added in, and it was fun. You know, they were a gateway band for people that were getting into black metal at that time and stuff.
Yeah.
Talking about black metal, I felt in 1994 was really standing out. And then when all of that stuff happened with the church burnings and the killings and the stabbings and all that, a lot of mysticism was behind some of the albums. And so my 1994 pick is this banner that I have behind me that I got from Ed from Realms of Metal. And that nice. Is De Mysterious Dom Satanas.
There you go. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. And I feel like I personally like the Death Crush EP a little more, the first stuff. But this album really put black metal on the map with the sound and the darkness and the twistness of the Attila's vocals and stuff. So my pick for 1994 is De Mysterious Dom Satanas.
All right, that's not bad, bro. Not bad. All right, me, I thought I took it out, but I guess I didn't. Get a little cover. But for my 1994 pick is gonna be the final Chris Barnes album, right? The Bleeding from Cannibal Corpse. All right.
Yeah.
That's when you know, I mean, we already saw Chris Barnes' progression from the first album, and you know, so Butchered at Birth, Tomb of the Mutilated, and when he did this one, you saw everything just started flowing a little bit better with his vocal style and the band. To me, look, I mean, I know everybody's still a big, you know, Corpse Grinder. I like Corpse Grinder. I think they're doing some great albums, but I just enjoyed Barnes's style, the way the band went with that style. I just felt like, and then, you know, whatever personal things they went through, so on and so forth, it's okay. I'm still one of those very small people who felt that I just enjoyed the Barnes era a little more. You know, that's just me.
You're not the only one, Barry, because I think it was me, Rich, talked about it this week. We like his era too. Or what you call Eating Back to Life.
Mm-hmm.
That album and everything else that he did before he left.
His first 4 albums, and it was because we got to see him develop and grow from that first album to that last album, and it fit the band so well as far as the lyrical content, what the band was about. His vocals fit all that so well, and he developed that, you know, that style. And you know, it's a shame that they didn't, you know, whatever. Like I said, man, that whole thing, you know, whatever. Like I said, I like George. I like George. I do. I like the albums. I think some of the albums are great. There's 1 or 2 that are stinkers for me, but there's a lot of good albums they have. And Cannibal Corpse is still playing. They're still putting out brutal music. But if it came down to say, oh, what was your favorite era? I'm always gonna say the Barnes era. And that album is fucking fantastic. The Bleeding.
That part, yeah, it was, because I don't even think I own anything that with Corpse Grinder at all. I think everything has just been with Barnes, those 4 albums of his. That's why I have
my favorite Corpse Grinder shit is when he was in Monstrosity. That first album.
That first album, yeah. That's all I care for.
That shit is good.
Yeah, and then that was it. And stuff.
So let's hit some honorables.
All right, so we're gonna have here. We start off with Emperor in the night side Escape. Eclipse.
Yeah.
Sorry, Eclipse. And then we have what was the other one that I had here?
Transylvanian Hunger from Dark Throne.
Yeah, I know that one came out, but I was looking for the wait, give me a second here. Oh, Enslaved, Frost came
Yep.
that year. That was a real good. Annihilation, King of the Kills, came out that year. And what else we had that year too? That was a good album.
Blasphemy, Made Flesh from Cryptopsy.
Yep, that one came out good and stuff. And yeah, that's what I have down. What do you got? You got any more?
I got maybe a couple, nothing too thing. You know, a weird album that stood out for that year was Acid Bath when the kite strings pop. Also, 9 Inch Nails came out with the Downward Spiral for Industrial. Let me see.
Rollins came out with an album.
Yep. Infester with To the Depths of Detrogation. That's some good Chicago death metal. Also a Gorman with The Ending Quest. And Pentagram from Gorgoroth.
Nice.
Yes, that was a real good album. The Gorgoroth.
Yeah, 94 was a good year, you know, not the best. Remember, the 90s started hitting a moment where some albums were good, some of them were not that good, but I felt like those stood out.
Yeah,
so should we go to 95?
Yeah, 95. But just to say, yeah, I noticed too. We were doing this. I was doing this list. Like in the middle of the 90s, a lot of bands started changing their styles. You had thrash bands that wanted to be. I don't know if it was because of all that Seattle bullshit that was on at that time going on, but a lot of bands like Slayer came out with an album that year that was garbage. I didn't care for, and it was a hard thing to make a list from 95 and on.
Yeah.
So what you got there, Tone? Then what you got for 95?
All right, here I got a band, but I don't have the album with me. But what you call might be a little controversy, but I don't care. I'm big for Graveland, Thousand Swords. I love that album. That was a 95 that came out. I like the pagan black metal that this band does. Nice. I think that they're so underrated. You know, I know people consider them part of the BS or whatever fuck what they want to call it. But if you really read the lyrics and stuff, I don't find it a thing. They sing basically about the history of the pagans and stuff like that. But the sounds that this man and the music that this man creates is awesome. I practically own all their albums.
So let me ask you a question then. With that, you know, we get into that little thing. So what makes them a controversial band? Just because if they talk about their heritage, that makes them a fucking band? But I thought that if they talked about killing other races, makes them a racist band.
Well, some people.
That's stupid. That I think that's just real stupid. I mean, if I want to go and do a black metal band and just talk about Puerto Rican heritage, that means I'm a fucking racist band.
It says some people that just don't understand. I don't even want to get into it big, but like some people in let's put it this way. How can I say it nice? A lot of Catholics and what you call Christians have these crazy beliefs, and when they go ahead and they wanna force upon other, like Eastern Europe wasn't into all of this, and force it upon them. Then, you know, there's always been the backlash. They fight back. So then some people feel, they talk about the Christians and whatever, and then they start saying things about the band. But all these people from Sweden, Norway, Finland grew up with pagan religions or Vikings, whatever. That's their beliefs.
Yeah, and I you know, don't get me started with the whole religious shit, bro. You know how I get with that stuff. I feel like that fucking pisses me off, because it's like, if people were into like the Norse religion, pagans, all that other stuff, they call that mythology. You know, how the fuck that was their belief? Why would you fucking call that shit mythology? You know, get out of here.
But look at how America exploits it. They take a pagan holiday that's their Halloween, and they sell costumes off left and right. But if you talk about paganism, you're a satanic or racist.
Oh well.
Oh well, right?
Fuck them.
Oh, you know. So let's just leave it at that. But go ahead, Rich. You pick yours.
All right. So for 1995, it was tough. I think my pick might be the same as Barry, so I don't want to ruin what he probably had in store. But I feel that Florida was still going with death metal. Brutality was still there. And an overall album that stood out for me with vocals and riffs and just, like just anti-religion, fuck you, is Once Upon a Cross fucking Deicide, bro. That shit, I mean, just, Barry, just talk about it, because I don't, that's your pick.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you said that, because I feel like this album here is the best Deicide album in their discography. This is their Raining Blood right here. This is their Raining Blood, top to bottom, first song to last song. Every fucking song is dope on this damn album. And this was what we imagined Deicide to be when we heard that first album. Legion was a good album. It was okay, but they went back to their roots on this one, which I enjoyed to this day. I can sit here and listen to this fucking album on repeat and not get bored of it. Great fucking album, and to me, the best fucking Deicide in their discography. That's my opinion. I mean, I'm sure everybody else has their opinion, but still, greatest fucking album on Deicide's discography.
Just really quick, Barry, on that. I agree with you. It's great, but personally, the first two Deicides are my favorite. The
me
first
too.
two.
The
95 is great, but I just feel like for me, the ones that I go back to the most are the first two.
Yeah. I just feel like that. The first one was their intro, where you got, and then the second one, he kind of like they were experimenting a little bit with their sound. And then Once Upon a Cross was like that they meshed everything together and punched you in the face. So that's why I enjoy that album the most. That to me is just, like I said, front to back, greatest fucking album in their discography for me.
Cool. So Tone, hit us with some honorable mentions, please.
Well, that year came out with one of my favorite bands in black metal was Moonblood. The Winter Falls Over the Land. Then Wasp came out with Still Not Black Enough. The funny thing with that album is one of their best albums, but they had no distributor to distribute the album in America. So it became a huge hit in Europe, but never in America.
Wow.
It's like their lost album. This album, from the beginning to the end, is one of their best albums. And Mutilator came out that year with the Vampires. What the hell was that? Shit, I heard.
Mutilation.
Mutilation. I'm sorry. Vampires of Black, whatever that album came out. Yeah, I wrote it, but I didn't write the whole title out.
That French shit, the Legion Lenoir.
Just go blah, blah, blah. Just go blah, blah, blah. That's it. That's it. Blah, blah, blah.
To me, that year wasn't that strong. I only have 5 mentions because going through the whole list, Morbid Angel came out with an album I didn't care for. Dark Throne started playing some other bullshit music that I didn't care for. And Malevolent Creation came out with an album too that garbage. So all these bands started changing their styles. And they were going away from the roots of what made them big big that year, the years prior to this year. Everybody was on that on how can I get rich themes at that time.
Yeah, everybody was trying to make some money.
Yeah, so everybody was trying to make some money, and they were all changing their styles. And then you have bands, even what you call, what's his name? Raul Halford left Judas Priest to do what was that? Down?
Fight,
He did
right?
fight. He did fight, right? Yeah.
Fight.
The fight.
And yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. All these bands. So that's the only thing I have for honorable mentions.
All right.
The one I got is the one that Immortal is standing in the snow called Battles in the North. I kind of like that one for that year. I thought it was
I like it, but I don't love it. I thought that was a weak album and their thing too. They had like maybe the first 3 songs off of it would hit you hard, and then the rest was just like fill-ins for me.
Then there was for stoner music was Monster Magnet with Dopes to Infinity. Then what else was that year?
Yeah.
Second. I feel like I'm missing something. Hold on. Symbolic from Def. That was one of the last ones for Def. Not a great album. Dissection, Storms of the Lights Bane.
Mm.
And that's it, yeah. So I guess we can go to 96.
1996, Tone. Take us home.
All right, 96. Oh yeah, I got one that Rich like. This one I got a little better. God Killer.
Woo!
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. This album.
That's a left field pick.
Yeah, this album. Yeah, because I used to own the CD, and then they reissued the vinyl. Yeah, I winded up picking it up, and yeah, it's been a while since I listened to it.
Hold it nice and straight, so that people can see it. Yeah.
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 When I got the vinyl, I started listening. Oh, and the title. Sorry, I forgot the title is "Reborn from the Middle Ages." This album because stuff, but from the beginning to the end, this album is just a killer, man. I love the riffs in this album. I like that he puts in a little of that medieval sounds into it, but it's a real from head to toe. This is a fucking killer album.
So where are they from again? My memory is rusty.
You know what? I forgot where they go.
Are they Moroccan? They're not Moroccan, right?
No, Morocco, yeah.
Yeah, Morocco, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Morocco. Yes, Morocco. They're from Morocco.
Damn, that shit is crazy to get a band like that's how black metal is. That all over the world. Like you never think that you would get a band of that kind of sound coming out of Morocco. You know?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, that band. Yeah, very good and stuff.
So
but
I'll move on to 96. Once again, like I was really into the brutal death metal, and one of the bands that stood out for me that came out with an album that a lot of people like is from Canada, and I went with Cryptopsy, and their album None So Vile.
That's a great fucking album, man.
Yeah, the drumming in that album is incredible. The brutality, you know, the artwork, and a lot of Canadian bands picked up and were influenced by that. I like Blasphemies of Flesh, their first one, but that's the one that really put them over. So for that year, I always felt like I was going back to that album and really listening to them. And just to give you a little oddball story, I saw them at the BB King's nightclub. They played there, and I was with my friend Mike, and Björk, the Icelandic singer, was in the audience. And she was singing along to the lyrics of Cryptopsy.
Shit.
And I got to meet her, and we went backstage, and we were hanging out and having drinks, and I took pictures with her.
Wow, that's fucking cool, man. Hey, I don't remember you ever telling me that story, man.
Yeah, I got the picture. I'll show it to you, Barry. That happened it actually happened on Easter Sunday, bro.
Dude, man, yo, fuck that. We gotta put that shit up, man. We gotta show proof.
I got the picture. I got the pictures to prove
bro,
that.
That's what I'm talking about, man. My man Rich was there. Was there with York, man. Yeah.
Watching Cryptopsy and at BB
King. Who would have thought, man? That's crazy.
Yo, BB King's was a great nightclub.
It was, man. It was.
A lot of bands came through there. All kinds of music, black metal, hardcore, metal, and it was intimate, and the sound system was great.
And they had some good ribs.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yes, they did. But I was going to say that when they started, a lot of the black metals started getting bands started getting visas to come to the U.S. That's where they would play, because that's where we saw Immortal, Emperor,
Dark Funeral.
Oh, Dark Funeral. I mean, and who else? What was another one that played there?
Enslaved,
and didn't Whitekin play there too?
Watain played at the Knitting and Irving Plaza.
But they did play there, right?
I'm not sure.
No,
I gotta look back.
They played. I think that they came out at midnight.
Wow.
For some reason, they had put down that the show was it was a late show start, and they came out at midnight with all the candle, the whole setup that they do.
Yo, Barry, the problem why things are fuzzy to me is because of this right here,
Well, all right, maybe you should just take it. We're getting to the home stretch, Rich. We got like 4 more years to go, man.
Oh shit! So I might as well get another beer.
Scar, get the fuck out of here. Yo, but that year was getting better too, because then things started picking up in metal, because then we had Melechek as Jerusalem, what you call Burns, came out that year.
Yes, from Israel.
Yes, I love this band. That's why I went all the way down to Maryland to see them play. And what was another one that came out that year too? Oh, Dark Funeral came out with the Secrets of the Black Art. That was
that's a good one.
Yeah. Right. So that's what I got for 96.
All right.
With honorable mentions, I'll throw in.
Wait, man.
Oh shit, Barry, I'm sorry.
No, man. We're doing 96, bro. You're already going to honorable mentions. He just did 96.
No, I got you. I made a mistake. Go ahead, Barry.
No, you didn't. Did you?
You got to do it.
You got to do 96.
All right.
He was already skipping the honorable mentions. I was like, what?
All right, 96. Give me 1 second. Oh shit! You know what? Dusk and Her Embrace. I mentioned it earlier from Cradle of Filth.
Cradle of Filth was a good one.
That's a good one.
Satyricon came out with an album, and it was pretty good. Here in After from Immolation.
Rich, are you doing your did you do your pick for 96?
Yeah, he did. Cradle of Filth.
Oh, but yeah, he's
no. I picked Cryptopsy. I picked Cryptopsy.
Okay, so then I'm supposed to do mine. No, so that's why I got to do mine.
That's what I was saying, Barry. I thought you were next, and then we were gonna do the honorable mentions. You fucked me up, Barry. Go ahead. I'm drinking, but you're fucking.
No, man, you're passing that good brew through the stream, man. Damn. All right. Well, look, my pick for 1996 to me, and of course you hear me say this a whole bunch of times. This to me is their fucking Rain in Blood. Crowbar, Broken Glass. I love this fucking album from front to back, man. And this, I guess maybe it's just more of a personal album to me. This is something that I had in my Discman when I used to go fucking travel and work overnights when I did Pathmark back in the days. And this album was always in my Discman, playing back and forth. And I love this fucking album to death, man. This is to me one of their best album of all the Crowbars. But yeah,
Barry, is that the one that has All I Had by Gate?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that album I think came out before this one. I forgot the name of that album, but yeah, I think.
What was the big song on that one?
Well, I mean, Conquering, I think was the one. Yeah, that's the one they did a video for, Conquering.
Okay.
Which was the first song of the album. Yeah. But the whole album, fantastic, great fucking album, man.
They're like a mixture of like metal and hard rock and sludge. And they represent Louisiana. Yeah,
they do. Fuck yeah, I love them, man. Great fucking band.
I seen them live. I feel that band comes across better live than on record. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, we saw them with. They opened up for. I saw them a few times, man. They opened up with Testament. They opened up with Pantera. They opened up with Sacred Reich. They were like all. They were always opening up for somebody. I seen them in the limelight like 3 times. Great fucking band, bro.
Hell yeah.
All right, now we can do honorable mentions.
All right.
Well, I did throw in a lot of the honorable mentions when he went to get when Richie went to get beer. That's
Okay.
Belichick, all Moonblood came out with an album that year, and yeah, that's all I have for that year.
All right, Rich, go ahead. What you have?
Sacramentum, Far Away from the Sun, which is metal. Mm-hmm. Hold on a second.
This band from Sweden.
Yeah, that's
fuck it, man. I'm gonna say something, man. It's not popular, man. I'm just gonna say it. Evil Empire from Rage Against the Machine, mixing metal with hip hop.
Yeah, I'm saying that a lot of the stuff that came out in the late, like in the 90s, was like.
That's it, man. We can move on to the next year.
Yeah.
All right, 97, Rich. I mean, Tone, 97.
You gotta laugh. 97. I picked Wasp.
Oh, okay.
KFD. Nobody talks about this album at all. And me and Rich, I stumbled upon it because that's when I wasn't collecting Wasp as much as back then. This is their album that they mix their metal style with industrial.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that this album is, everybody sleeps on it. Nobody talks about it, but it's some of the best shit that Wasp guitar, which Chris Holm did, his guitar play, and what you call Blackie singing and the songwriting and everything about this album. And it's too bad you can't even get the album in America because they don't have even a distributor for it. Only in Europe you can get the album. Yeah, that's my pick for that year.
Cool.
All right, Rich.
So in 1997, once again, I was still into the black metal. And it's weird. I started getting a lot into the symphonic black metal with the keyboards and all that. So the album that I picked for that year was Emperors in the Welcome Anthems.
Nice.
That I felt like that it wasn't their best album, but it had a unique sound between keyboards and black metal, a little bit of singing and everything, and I dug it. Like Emperor has always been a band that overall I like most of all their albums, but that one stood out for 97 for me.
I fucked up.
Uh-huh.
I picked that Wasp album, right? But then I forgot that an album that I care for more came out that year. You have it written in the bottom, but go ahead. I'll mention it after you guys finish yours.
Okay. Go ahead, Barry, and then Tom will jump back in.
All right. Well, my 97 pick is gonna go to the man who went and basically blasted his old band out of the water when he was out of the band for a little while. I'm talking about Bruce Dickinson's "Accident of Birth." This album this album and Chemical Wedding are those are his fuck yous to Iron Maiden. I don't care what anybody says, because remember he wasn't singing for the band. Blaze Bayley was singing it for Iron Maiden at the time. Everybody was going and debating about it or whatever. And these are some fucking hard ass fucking songs he got on here. You got this guy Roy Z is in here, and he has Adrian Smith on this album too. But Adrian Smith got kicked out from Maiden. Remember? And then eventually, when they got Bruce back, he said, we got to bring Adrian Smith back. So that's when they ended up having 3 guitarists of the band. So Adrian Smith is in the band again. So this right here, I mean, this is a back and forth, great fucking album. Very thrashy. It has a lot of more thrash elements than anything. And you got Bruce's vocals. You're a fan of Bruce Dickinson. Can't go wrong with this great fucking album.
I have to revisit it because I don't remember it that well. I remember Tattoo Millionaires.
Oh no, this was after. So Tattoo Millionaire, he did when he did Tattoo Millionaire, that was his little solo shit when he was still in Maiden. But when he did this album, this was when he already left. Like that they kicked him, he left the band or whatever, and he did Chemical Wedding. And then after Chemical Wedding, that's when everything came out where they wanted to get him back into Maiden. Where he did what's the album that came out in 2000? World. I forgot the name of it. I just know it's a World something. Whatever. I'm all fucked up here. But anyway, came back. Adrian Smith had to come back to the band. That was the deal to get Bruce Dickinson back into the band. I remember.
Nice.
Yeah, this 90s has us a little fucked up because I picked that was the beginning album that I wanted to pick.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the Wasp I was talking about.
Yeah.
But then the one that I really wanted to that for that year was my favorite, and this is my all-time favorite album from this band. This album and Drucifer will agree with me because this is one of his favorite too. It's Destroyer 666.
Ah, man, that's a good one. Yep.
Bro, on what you call this album from the beginning to the end. Yeah, I listen to this album at least once a week.
So hold it up real good to the screen. Yep. Yeah. That's a good album. Yep.
The fucking cover alone is fucking a thing. I just love wolves, man. Look at this. Yo, he's ready to tear somebody up.
That's
Destroyer 666 is an incredible band. I seen them live. They played with Watain, and they just bring it real pure, raw energy.
Oh, man, the rawness of this album, it's a killer. It's a killer album. And this, if anybody who's starting a collection, you have to have this in your collection.
Yeah, I've been looking for that album. It's been hard.
Yeah,
even on CD, even on CD is hard.
Yeah, because what you call what's his name? This was released. This is the reissue that was released by Hellbanger.
Hell's Headbanger.
Yeah, Hellbanger. Yeah, and he sold out on the color vinyls as well. I winded up just getting the black because they had this in white.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I wanted the white one because got this badass wolf here doing his shit and shit. So this was the one that I wanted to pick for 97.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
So hit us with your honorable mentions, Tone, and I'll hit a couple and then we'll move on.
Well, we had what you call Marduk. Oh, this year did get good. Marduk with Nightwing came out. Yep. Then you had Cradle of Filth with Cruelty of the Beast.
A really good album.
Yep. Yes, their last good album, because after that everything went downhill from them. And then this is where what you call when this guy left Sepultura, Soulfly's debut came out that year. And what was my last? Yeah, that's it. That's all I got for that year.
97. For 97, I got Over with Natrans Medruga, the one that has the wolf. That one is good. And then I think In the Woods came out that year. Give me 1 second. Phobic. Oh shit! Hatebreed came out that year with Satisfaction is the Death. Let me see. I'm looking around. I think that might be it for me. I'm looking.
Yeah. There was a lot of good albums, Rich. I fucked up. I gave 80, 98. The 97, what you call, Rotting Christ came out with Dead a Poet. What you call, who else came out with the, did you mention Hatebreed?
Yeah, I just threw them in.
Yeah, Hatebreed came out that year with a good album. Who else came out with Paradise Lost 1 second came out that year, and was another good band. I don't know how you feel about this band, but I like them. Electric Wizard.
Yes.
Yeah, they came out.
Very good doom kind of stoner mix of metal. Yep.
Yeah, and that's it. That's all I got then.
Oh, so let's move on to 1998.
1998. Now that's where I mess up. My pick for that year was what you call Marduk's Nightwing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
That to me is one of their best raw fucking what you call badass. Everything from this album is thing. This might to me, to tell you the honest truth, is one of their rawest albums that I like from the era of Marduk from there and stuff. Yeah.
So for 1998, like once again, man, I was still stuck in that brutal death metal thing, but one of the albums that stood out for me because I kind of was getting into different sounds was the Egyptian sounds of Nile. So I went with Nile into the Catacombs, and that's for 1998. Brutal drumming, great guitar work. Carl Sanders really stood out, and I love the Egyptian kind of themes that they brought out in their music. So Nile, into the Catacombs for 1998. Nice. Barry.
All right. Well, for me, I mean, 98 was kind of tough. With certain bands. There was some good, decent albums, but I think the only one that stood out for me was Dying Fetus, Killing on Adrenaline.
Nice.
I mean that. Of course, you can't go wrong with Dying Fetus. I mean, we probably could have put a Dying Fetus album any of the years because they to me a lot of their albums are it's Dying Fetus and their albums are pretty good. But yeah, that was a great fucking album. I thought it was brutal as fuck. And considering the fact that some of the stuff that was coming out into that late part of the 90s was getting kind of watered down, they still at least kept it to a nice little level,
Yeah, it was a lot of watered down shit in that year.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's why it was kind of hard, man. It was kind of hard. And so when I thought so, I said, oh yeah, fucking Dying Fetus, man. Exactly. Yeah, that definitely had to put Dying Fetus in there.
Yeah. Right. Oh, you got any honorable mentions?
Nope.
Well, I'll do one honorable mention for that that I could have probably picked. King Diamond's Voodoo came out that year, and that was actually that King Diamond album was actually pretty cool. There's I mean, he sticks to his stories, and the music was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't his best King Diamond album, but it was it was something I was able to listen to.
Yeah, but you see, I'm sorry, but listen to this. All these bands, if you look at 98, right? There's a lot of big bands that came out with albums, but these are, if you was to tell any metalhead or whatever you want to list on this, to look at this list, they were like, oh shit, I don't even know this album. All these bands came out with songs, with albums that
I called them B albums. B albums. They weren't really
a whole bunch of B albums. Yeah. So,
but I'll give you one that I thought was okay. Like, once again, not great, but okay. And that's Formula's Fatal of the Flesh, Morbid Angel.
Yeah, that was the one the first album without David Vincent, right?
Yeah. The brutality of the music was good.
Yeah, the music was good. The music was
good. But the shit is that we love the old school Morbid Angel, but for that year, it wasn't that much. So that one stood out. But you know what? Fuck that. Let's take it home to 99 then.
99. Now 99, we got now here it gets good. 99, I took Sodom, what you call Code Red.
Oh, okay.
Good album.
Sodom, everybody knows, is if you heard me say it lots of times, that's one of my all-time favorite thrash bands. I always put them as number one. I know there are other bands that are better and stuff, and then we had the little debate about who's better, Creator or Sodom. I always say Sodom because they never changed their style. They always were brutal from day one when they did those albums that were black metal-ish kind, all the way to now. They were always playing. Creator, they did the same thing. Like half of these bands I was looking at, they changed their style for a couple albums before they went back to what made them famous. So that's my favorite album from that year.
Cool. So in 1999, man, I was listening to a lot of hardcore, a lot of metal, a lot of punk, but I started getting a lot into slam. And New York was really representing with Devourment and Pyrexia and Suffocation and Baphomet and all that early stuff that almost had like those hip hop beats. But Repudulation stood out. But one band that stood out from Texas that I really liked was Devourment, and that was Molesting the Decapitated.
Nice.
Yeah, this album really influenced a lot of bands with the brutality that went into the 2000s. So I picked Devourment with Molesting the Decapitated.
All right. Well,
So what you got? Yeah.
For me, look, I think, you know, I mean, we talked about when we were talking about death before, when we talked about individual thought patterns. That was like basically an all-star album. Remember, that had Andy LaRocque, that had Gene Hoglan, that had Steve DiGiorgio, so on, right? But this one, I think, had the better lineup, and I think one of the best albums that came out that year, and I believe is what got a former band member back to his original band, and that's Testament's The Gathering.
Yes.
Yeah, this album right here, yo, this is like, yo, it has Dave Lombardo on drums, Steve DiGiorgio on bass, James Murphy on guitar. You know, this is basically a death thrash album. This shit is fucking phenomenal. And there was and I'm sure with Dave Lombardo, it was a nice little fuck you to Slayer, you know. And then when they saw what he was doing, that's when they decided to bring him back for that little bit where he did those couple of albums with them before they kicked him out again. But yeah, I got to see them live for this tour in Jersey, and man, oh man, this was it was, watching them do this shit live was phenomenal with all those members, James Murphy, DiGiorgio, and Dave Lombardo, all of them were there. So it was fucking phenomenal, man. Great fucking album.
Hey Barry, with that album, you have the physical copy, right?
Yeah.
What's the first song on that album?
DNR.
Okay, so I went to a drum clinic that Dave Lombardo did, and one of the fans told them it was a Slayer drum clinic at down on 48th Street, and one of the fans says, "Can you please play that song live now?" And he played that on his iPod, and he played along to that song live in front of us at that drum.
Wow.
And and that was pretty dope. And then afterwards, I got a drum head. He autographed it, and I took a picture with him.
That's dope. Yeah, I mean, man. But like I said, you know, when you see the way things progressed in there, when he was on this, you could tell even just from his playing alone and the fucking songs, it was basically telling Slayer, yeah, this is what you're missing, you know. And he fucking killed it on this fucking album. And
I love Steve DiGiorgio on bass, man.
Yeah, man, that's why I said that this was an all-star band, and it was great, man. I love it. Love it.
So you
best Testament.
So you rate that Testament album compared to the other Testament albums?
That's the thing, because you know what? I mean, considering that's like I think that album could stand by itself. I mean, as far as original Testament stuff, I would still go with like the New Order would be like, to me, like their best album, you know, as far as the original shit goes. And I do like what the fuck, remember the death metal album they did too. That was what was the name of that album? When they were like it was basically a death metal album they did. Oh shoot.
Well, what year, or around what year?
Came out 90, I want to say 95, 96, somewhere around there.
I can't remember.
Yeah, shit. I know. I just remember that was like I remember they did Low. Low was okay. I remember seeing.
Nah, I didn't like Low.
Low was okay. It wasn't. I mean, it was better to me. Low was. I thought Low was a better album than Practice What You Preach. I Practice What You Preach. After you hear it a bunch of times, you're like, yeah, that's when you saw that they were trying to get into that, trying to get radio play thrash.
Yeah.
That's what you call radio play thrash. And when they did Low was a little bit more. They were trying to get back into that original style. And then they did the death metal album. Shit, I forgot the name of the album.
Anyway, Tone, if you got some honorable mentions, throw them.
Yeah, because I got what you call Immortal at the Heart of Winter came out that year. That was, even though that's where their turning point to more a melodic black metal thing that they winded up. And then one band that I did what you call, the one that I did a video for Mordred Red was Old Forest, Into the Old Forest.
Yep.
That's a good, and Summering Strong.
Yeah, Summoning.
Yeah, Stronghold, and yeah, and that's it.
Oh,
I have from Norway the black metal band Take. I cannot pronounce their album. I think it's Nastris Impronum, the one that has the guy with his hands folded on the cover.
Yeah.
That Take album is good. Yeah. Some people say they call it Take, but I call them Take. Also, that year, God the Throne came out that year. Also, oh shit, Children of the Bottom came out, and they were getting popular at the time. Oh man,
And don't forget one for Barry that he probably, I don't know what he thought of it, but it was pretty popular that year. Was My Dying Bride, The Light at the End of the World.
yeah, that's a fucking dope ass album.
Yeah, that was
Failures for God from Immolation was good. And that's the year that Wasp came out with Hell Dorado.
Yeah, Hell Dorado is a good album. That was their first album that was, then they had a distributor in America.
Wow.
Yeah, and you mentioned Code Red Tone from Sodom.
Yeah, that was his pick.
Yeah.
That was my pick.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, no, so that's it. That's all I could think of. Yeah.
Oh yeah. The album it was Demonic from Testament. That was the album.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I never heard of that.
Yeah, it came out like in '97, and that was, if you hear it, it's basically death metal. It's death metal. Yeah, it's basic death metal. I mean, you know that the guitarist from Testament, he had a black metal band too, right?
No.
Yeah. My guitarist Vinny was like, he had a band out it was 13 years ago. He had a few black metal albums. He's into black metal.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll send you one of the links or whatever. I gotta tell Vinny, because I know he sent me the videos. I checked them out, and I think it's called something Serpent something. I forgot, but it's black metal.
Yo, and you know what? I want to throw in some slam albums that we didn't really talk about from the 90s. Real quick, Baphomet, Afterbirth, Internal Bleeding, Humanized, Mortal Decay, Disgorge, Immortal Suffering, and oh shit, Uncle Slam, Barry.
Oh fuck.
Slam.
I like Uncle Slam. Yeah.
Well, I have one album that we didn't talk about and mention that came out in '90, and is one of my all-time favorites too. But it's, it depends how you feel about it. It's punk. It's the Lunatics, Babysitters.
Oh man, what? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And also Binge and Purge.
Yeah, but remember, this album came out in the '90s, but you couldn't get it in America.
That was England.
England was it was distributed by an English distributor.
Yeah.
Fucking Europe.
Cool. So yeah,
shit. Why do you think I'm always buying shit from over there?
Yeah, they got the best shit, man. That's it.
Yeah. So, but I think that's about it, right?
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, look, just to let you guys know at the same time, I guess we could talk about it here real quick. I spoke to Morbid Saint. Look at that, man. Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Go ahead, Barry. Sorry.
And I spoke to Chucky from Crazy Eddie. He said he's pretty much available, I guess, for some weekends or whatnot. So we're gonna schedule something with him, and you guys get your stuff together as far as what you want to talk to him about. Maybe you got some questions, and we'll get Chucky on to be one of our first guests.
Oh, sounds great. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do we have any plans to do what you call 2000s?
I mean, you know what? Maybe we'll just we'll leave it up to the people who watch this one. If we see if it has a nice, like the 80s actually did pretty well. So I guess we'll say if this one does pretty well, we get a nice little response for it. Fuck it, why not? Well, then we'll do the 2000.
Yeah, because that's when metal started improving and got out of that fucking what you call that bullshit that they were all trying to become something that they weren't.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
And-
we didn't make all the garbage
and-
Metallica release on all those years too.
Yeah. We'll do it like that then. We'll put this out. We'll see what the crowd thinks. If the crowd loves it, fuck it. We'll do 2000. And what do you guys think? So put it in the comments. Let us know you want 2000s.
Like I said in the last video, if we skipped any albums that you guys like from the 90s, mention them in the comments. And if you guys want a 2000s video, maybe we'll do it like next month. But from here, we're gonna interview some bands. We're gonna interview some YouTubers later on, and we're gonna keep it interesting. And then we're gonna talk about obscurities too, like albums that weren't that famous. The best of discographies, the best albums from a band. There's so much that we could take this with.
Yeah, it's plenty to talk about, man. It's always plenty to talk about, and that's the thing that we want to do. We want to keep it interesting, have people engage. I mean, and we just, it's all about just talking about fucking music and metal, man.
Yes. Yep. All right,
guys. Well, look, that's pretty much it. You guys have anything else you want to throw out there before I click everything off?
No, man. Just have a good one. Enjoy metal. Some of those were just a little bit of recommendations. Jump around, man. Get out of your comfort zone, man. You might like something that you never heard before. Take a wild chance and listen to music, man, because metal, man, that's the way to go.
Absolutely.
But
all right, Tone, anything from you?
Well, not really. I think I'm done.
All right, guys. So that's pretty much it. It's Barry, Rich, and Tone from That Goat Metal Show. Stay brutal.